Hello, everyone. Good morning. All right, so let me pop up my chat box. Hi, Missy. So everyone should please say good morning. If you're on and up and you're ready to learn and get all your questions answered. So let's give a quick intro. I am Joel. I'm the co-founder of LifePro. And here we have Amber.
Hello.
The reason we do an intro each time we have a live is because every time we have a live, there's about 200 to 300 new members and they have no idea who we are. There's two funny people going live. So yes, I'm the co-founder and we have Amber, who's a master at everything she does. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put myself on, what is it called? I'm gonna minimize myself so you have a center screen for Instagram. Is anyone on Instagram? Please let me know so I can see your comment. Hi, Esma. Okay, so how do I do this? Spotlight. Okay, it's all yours.
Awesome.
Hi, Valerie.
So real quick, I think what we are trying to share with all of you is we've had so many of you have reached out to us with a lot of questions, and a lot of people are asking a lot of the same questions. So we would like to clarify some of the questions you're asking, and make sure with whatever answers that I'm providing you, if there's not clarity there, and you're still somewhat confused over how you're using our devices, which devices are ideal for your situation, we're here to help you. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, make sure and type it in as Joel's keeping an eye while I'm chatting with all of you. I'm going to be sharing with you, we're not actually featuring a new product today for a change. We're just here to answer questions about the products that we've already shared with you. So I have a platform behind me. I have the new Thrive boots behind me. I've got massage guns surrounding me. I've got the Pacer treadmill in the back corner. I've got a little bit of everything here. But we've reached out to many of you, and many of you have sent us information back as far as what are your questions, concerns, frustrations, or just general information. And so to give you some feedback about what I do professionally, my degree is in sports medicine and exercise science, kinesiology. Kinesiology is the study of the human body in motion. So I've been doing this for about 20 years. And I personally have fibromyalgia. I personally have suffered 8 spinal injuries. I've had to learn to walk again, have learned to deal with head injury, trauma, and a lot of stress. So today I'm completely pain-free. I don't have any pain whatsoever as long as I stay moving. I do have, again, the fibromyalgia that comes and goes, but I've been using a lot of LifePro tools because I work with them so closely on a daily basis. I'm completely pain-free every day, even working 8 to 12 hours on doing massage and body work on other individuals. I am pain-free. So these devices do work for you, and I'm going to tell you what LifePro really specializes in is stress management and inflammation. Like, we are in the business of recovery tools. And recovery tools is the secret to anti-aging. So those of you that feel like you're 10 years older than you really are because of how stressed you are in your world, that's where so many of our different gadgets and tools come in handy, because if you can lower your stress levels without, having to stop what you're already doing at home, without having to leave home, or maybe you have, you don't have the ability to leave and go in different places for therapy, or to hire a personal trainer, or to hire a massage therapist. We're here to help you with all of our tools, in that you're going to get that professional experience through us by using your tools on yourself at home or with loved ones. So that being said, we have a list of...
Hold up.
Yep.
Pause. Hi. Hello, everyone. So I want to let you know. Sorry, I kicked you off, Amber.
No, you're fine. You can kick me off.
So this is how we're going to go. First of all, if you have any questions whatsoever, type it into the box, and we are going to answer your questions. What's probably going to happen, the first, we're going to answer all the questions that were submitted before the live, so it's easier to flow along. And then we're going to answer all the live questions that you're asking. So please stick around. Number 2 or 3, whichever one I'm up to. Tomorrow, Black Friday sales are starting. It's exciting. So even though Black Friday is not this week, but we're doing it anyways, so you have enough time and you don't have to feel stressed out with shipping and all that stuff. So just letting you know. So keep an eye on that. Okay, so we will give back the screen to Amber. Hello, everyone. Let me just first say hello to everyone. Hi, Dean. Hi, Lori. Hi, Rose. Donna. Let's see who else is up. Who else commented? Hi, Lisa. Tom. Eva. And now it is yours.
Awesome. I would say hi, everybody, but I don't get to see who's typing in. So hi, everybody. Thank you again for following us. Okay, so let's talk about kind of why LifePro recovery tools work the way that they do. All of them across the board are responsible for managing connective tissue, managing fascia. Fascia is what holds us together. It carries 70% of our water, okay? And this is what fascia looks like under a microscope, okay? It is a jelly substance. If you think about a set of fishnet pantyhose and it's covered in jelly, we have 12 of these different layers of fishnet pantyhose covered in jelly covering our body. But as we get stressed and life gets challenging and we develop autoimmune disease, any kind of autoimmune disease or injury, this is what that tissue starts to look like. It starts to fuse and adheres, and it starts to grip on to other areas of your body in order to protect you so that you can continue to be doing what you're doing. But it's our body's form of fight or flight and continuing to stay, survival mode. So when we get into a heightened state of fight or flight, our body produces high levels of stress hormones. And those stress hormones are what causes us to feel like crap. And there's a direct correlation between stress hormones being up, excess stress in the body, which increases inflammation, which ultimately leads to exhaustion, autoimmune disease, cancer, yada, yada, yada. So what vibration does, vibration is extremely healthy for this tissue because the vibration, what it does, it's a gentle earthquake effect. I like to say it's the perfect storm that we have control over. And guess what is the foundation of LifePro? We are all about vibration, among other things. So with vibration, especially through our feet, we have like 70% of the neuroreceptors that provide our brain feedback with where we are at in space and what our body needs to do to respond and react. They only exist on the skin on the bottom of your feet. So there's a direct correlation as well with how your feet sense the ground and how you process emotion and pain and energy. This tissue has the ability to sense pain and emotion 10 times greater than a nerve fiber alone. And there's over 100 million nerve fibers in this system. And vibration and all of the LifePro products are very friendly to this tissue. This tissue loves LifePro. I'm going to put it to you that way. So the difference between all of our different products is the type of vibration that we're delivering through that connective tissue, how we apply it, and then, of course, massage. Massage is really, really good. And those of you that can't afford a massage therapist, you have now the Thrive boots. You have we have our hand massager, our foot massager. We have all these different things that you can use without having to have a professional working on you if you don't have access to that. So why does itching subside and why do I feel itchy? So let's say that you're standing on your platform and you're doing a program, whether it's a preset program or you're just on low level of intensity, and you start to feel that intense itching. Like I know I feel it through here in my butt, in my hips, and in my abdominal area. This is an area where a lot of stuff comes together as one. But when we break apart this tissue with that vibration, there's lots of little molecules that are stored in this tissue. And those molecules now start to move around and mobilize. So toxicity, any kind of toxin that you put on your skin, toxicity that we breathe through the air, toxicity through processed food and chemicals, medication. So some medications will hibernate in this tissue molecularly, even though the shelf life changes or how long it's out of your system changes. it can hibernate in these little fibers because these fibers control and adheres, and so layers and layers. It's kind of like a spider web with a lot of bugs in it. So as you're plucking those little bugs out of your spider web all over, 12 different spider webs in your body, if you want to put it that way, there is a histamine response. And a histamine response is your body's detox system. So lymphatic system is engaging and is activated, and your body is trying to figure out a way to eliminate those toxins. So if you've not had any body work done, and let's say you're 40 years old, that's 40 years worth of toxicity building up over time that's being stuck in this connective tissue, which was ignored for decades. Now it's really heightened up in the medical world because it's one of the best kept secrets to releasing that energy, releasing that tissue is instant pain relief. So that's why if you're on one of our devices, one of our platforms, or you're using a massage gun, especially around here in your hips, and you start to itch, like intensely itch, that's a good thing. Some people will say, well, it's an allergic reaction. Well, let's think about it this way. If you have an allergic reaction, what happens? You get a rash, you get itchy, you have to take Benadryl, which is an antihistamine. So it's the same concept, but you're not having an allergic reaction to the device. Your body is just detoxing, which is a beautiful thing because that's what gives us the ability to heal. That's what gives us the ability to move. That's what makes us feel fresh and heightened. So a lot of people that use our devices, as soon as they get off of the platform, you feel light and fluffy and like you're floating, and your body's just trying to figure out where you're at in space. Because again, you have provided sensory to all these little guys that are talking to your brain, but there's a system, there's a travel path in which those sensors have to travel to the brain to communicate, like a telephone wire. And when we break through all of this, and we've got toxicity floating around at the same time, it takes a little bit longer for that energy to travel through that telephone wire to our brain. At some point, it gets better and better and better and better. So that's why you might feel like absolute crap for like two days after the first time you use your platform. If you've done too much too fast, your body's trying to adjust. So you can go through hyper toxicity where your body is just trying to catch up with the lymphatic system. So don't give up on it. Keep working it. You just want to lower your intensity until your body gets used to it and then up the intensity. So there's the answer to that question. We get that a lot. That being said, the next question was weight loss, okay? How can I use the platform for weight loss? Same situation. If you look at molecules and how our fat is stored within our body. Another picture to share with you here real quick. If you have this tissue, and this is just an ideal view of what that tissue looks like from here's your muscle, here's your skin, and then your fat lies right underneath your skin. And then you've got that web that holds everything together. So you've got webbing that holds your skin to your fat, fat to your tissue, or to the lymphatic system, and then fascia from there to your muscle, muscle to bone, ligaments, tendons, nerves, yada, yada, yada. So a lot of anatomy going on there, okay? If you have adhesions or immobility in your body, and that tissue is holding your fat to your muscle, once you start to mobilize those tissues, the fat is now able to freely move and metabolize. So if the fat is trapped in those cross fibers or in that jelly structure, when you're releasing that system using the platform, now your fat molecules can mobilize and you can actually use them for fuel. If they're not mobilizing and they're not converting to CO2, which is what we breathe and exhale out, then you can't burn fat. Instead, you break down the muscle. So that's another thing that I saw earlier in the week is somebody had mentioned, I've had my platform for a while. I'm wanting to use it for 30, 40 minutes a day because I can do a CrossFit workout. Why can't I do it for a longer period of time? What the vibration does is it's creating this super contract, relax reaction to every muscle spindle fiber in your body. And this is what that looks like. So each one of your muscles is made up of a huge bundle full of these little fibers. And so these little fibers are super excited with vibration. They eat it up. It's like candy. It's like really, really good stuff. And so when that is happening, it's creating as well a hypertrophy. And hypertrophy means that your muscles are growing. So when they contract and relax, anywhere from 20 to 50 times per second, like your brain can't even comprehend that, right? But when you're on the platform or when you are in contact with the ground, anywhere that's vibrating, or you're using the massage guns, okay? When you're using the massage guns, you're creating a reaction here, contract and relax of each and every one of these millions of muscle fibers throughout your entire body, 20 to 50 times per second, which creates a pump, which mobilizes lymph, which mobilizes fat cells, which creates a process. So you're not going to get that same response if you're just doing exercise without vibration, because the body is receiving the stimulus of vibration, which is what is causing this effect of that contract and relax. You don't get that same response when you're just lifting or doing a run or doing a bike workout. It's a totally different process, because your body, there's an equal and opposite reaction for everything that you do. The energy from the platform or from the massage gun is vibration. So our body has an opposite reaction to vibrate against. So 20 to 50 times per second. You're doing a lot more to your body in that one small bout of exercise on the platform than you are with just curling a weight. When you add resistance to the platform, the energy expenditure goes up, the muscle tone comes along, but too much of a good thing is not good. So you can create a huge inflammation process from doing too much, too fast. So those of you that are saying, hey, I can get on my platform for 30 minutes at a time, and I'm getting weight loss and I'm getting results and I'm feeling great. And then somebody else is like, oh, well, I'm only getting on there for 10 minutes and I feel terrible. What's going on? Why is this not working for me? Or why am I doing everything religiously, but I'm not losing weight? Everybody is molecularly different. So what works for me is not always going to work for everybody else. Our metabolic makeup is different. Autoimmune disease. If you have autoimmune disease, it is a lot harder to lose weight because your body is in a heightened level of inflammation. So we have to work de-inflammation, which is low level of intensity versus high level of intensity. So that's where the weight loss secret is. And guys, it was like last week, I weighed in last week, 45 pounds lost since like February. Okay. And I tried a lot of different things. Yeah, it's exciting. I tried a lot of different things, but I'm just going to tell you, you cannot just stand on the magic device. I call it the magic device because it is magic. You cannot step on the magic device, watch your calorie counter and say, oh, I'm burning all these calories. Don't rely on the calorie counter. It's just a generalization of providing some kind of consistency, but you have to make sure that you're eating appropriately. I don't follow a diet because I don't like to cut anything out of my life. I eat sensibly, okay? I'm not getting on the platform like, oh, I'm gonna go in the snack closet, eat my way out because I just did 30 minutes of workout on the platform and now I can go eat, okay? So you can't do that. You need to make sure if you're wanting to lose weight and you're dealing with autoimmune disease or you are dealing with hormone regulation. Hormones are your chemical messengers that talk to your brain. One of the other big pieces to my pie is changing my hormone makeup through bioidentical hormones. That's something way outside of what LifePro can do. But if you haven't had your hormones checked lately, you've got to start there. If what you're doing with LifePro is not working and you've been following the protocols, if you're not losing, you need to see a functional medical practitioner and get hormone testing done on your sex hormones. Because if those hormones are not regulating properly, it is impossible to lose weight. Impossible. So if you're curious about dieting, look into an anti-inflammatory diet. If you've had success with other diets in the past, you're not always going to have the same success every attempt going forward because your metabolic change up, your metabolism and how your body is chemically formatted changes, and it mutates different when we go on certain diets. So if you had really good luck once before on Weight Watchers and you're not doing very well with Weight Watchers this time, switch it up because your body gets used to something and it just goes into cruise control mode, and then it quits adapting. So the secret is continuing to adapt. So if you see the workouts that I've taught through the Life Pro page, a lot of them you can find on YouTube on the Life Pro channel, you're going to find I'm switching up the workouts all the time. A lot of the same exercises, but the sequencing is different. Our body likes stimulus. It likes change. When we get into the same routine over and over and over again, that's what causes tennis elbow. That's what causes carpal tunnel syndrome. That's what causes a lot of injury, overuse injury, but it's also what leads to autoimmune disease. So not only do you need to dial in on what you're doing with the platform and with the Pacer treadmill or the Electroslide treadmill, if you're using the Flex Cycle bike at home, just from a seated position, you got to make sure you're always switching things up. Even if you're just switching the program or the intensity, or maybe you do 15 minutes one session and you do 20 minutes or 10 minutes another session, mix it up a little bit, because your body can, if it gets too comfortable, you're not going to see the changes that you're wanting to see. You can follow every one of the videos that I've done, every workout that I have ever done in order to achieve this weight loss. Every single workout is available through Facebook in our VIP group or on YouTube with Joel. Every single workout. I have not done a workout outside of Facebook Live to achieve those results. So you can follow the timeline, the documentary that basically from point A back in March to where we're at now. You can watch every single workout and see what I've done. And I haven't done anything outside of that. In fact, I'm usually working on bodies the rest of the day, or working with Joel and trying to figure out how to maximize opportunities for all of you to be healthy and happy. So hopefully that answers the question about weight loss. It's not a cookbook recipe for everybody. You got to dabble different spices, different recipes. People in the South like things differently than up in the North, on the East, on the West Coast. It's all different. Our bodies are all exactly the same in that concept, in that we have to have variety and change. So if you're struggling, reach out to us. If there's something we can do to help you, we're definitely here to help you with that. But it's not as simple as just standing on the platform for 10 minutes twice a day and then, oh, the magic pill is going to hit. That's not how it works. You have to make sure that you're maintaining stress level. So if you are under a lot of stress and you feel a lot of tension and you're using the platforms, that's great. But you have to make sure that you're managing stress outside of what you're doing on the platform, because the cortisol levels go up with stress, whether it's mental stress, spiritual stress, physical stress. If your stress levels are going up, hormones are going up, it is impossible to lose weight. So just want to make sure we clarify that ahead of time. Can you use vibration platforms barefoot or not? So again, because your feet are super excitatory to the vibrations that we offer within our devices, it is ideal to do the exercises on the platform barefoot, but some of you might have diabetic neuropathy. Some of you might have different shaped feet in which you have poor balance. So it's better if you are struggling with balance, if you are struggling with neuropathy, if you are struggling with what we call proprioception, which is where your body is at in space, your sensory, if you've got vertigo or some of the underlying conditions that throw your senses off, or even if you're dealing with sinusitis, if you've got a sinus infection, your balance is off, okay? If you need to use shoes in order to be comfortable on the platform, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I find the greatest results happen for those that I rehabilitate with, and even for myself, I feel sensory rich when I have been on the platform barefoot. And there are a tremendous amount of studies that are proving that there is definitely an emotional attachment to vibration through the bottom of our feet with how our brain manages stress and relaxation. So you can get on the platform if you haven't tried this yet. If you just stand or even sit in a chair with your feet elevated on a platform for 10 minutes, doesn't matter what level of intensity it is, you automatically should feel a difference in your stress level. Like you should feel more relaxed. You should feel more calm. It's a feel-good sensation. If you're not feeling good when you're on the platform, you're too stimulated, make sure and choose a much lower level of speed or a preset program, or just turn on vibration. If you've got like one of the Rumblex systems where we got the 4-dimensional, just choose vibration instead of choosing the oscillating teeter-totter or the shifting side to side. If you are super sensitive and you're feeling pins and needles in your feet, then change up the stimulus of the platform. If you have the turbo, the waver, the hovert, you can switch up your motors a little bit. And again, less is better if you're dealing with those pins and needles sensations. It's not likely that the platform will cause nerve damage, but if you have had nerve damage because of diabetes, or a lot of people who are going through chemotherapy and radiation are starting to develop neuropathy in their extremities, or maybe you have Raynaud's disease in your hands. The vibration of all of our devices actually help to stimulate nerve activity, and the nerve fiber is the absolute slowest healing tissue in the human body. It only grows, those nerve fibers only grow so much at a time, and they have to interlap or connect in order for you to get that sensory back. And it's one of those things where if you have a nerve-related injury, I've been there and done this. I've had this problem with 8 spinal injuries. I have gone from being excruciating in pain, medicated, trying to figure my way out in life, to 2 years later, just out of nowhere, things just automatically start to feel better. So, but because our nerves are so sensitive and they have to come back together, either intertwining with each other or end to end, it's going to change the energy from the brain to the extremity, because the nerves is how our brain communicates with our body from a sensory level and a motor level. What does that mean? If you have neuropathy and you can move, but you can't feel, then your sensory nerves are affected. Sensory gives you the ability to feel things. Motor nerves give you the ability to move certain things. Some nerves have both. Some nerves are just one or the other. So again, the vibration is really, really therapeutic for nerve conductivity and for regeneration of nerves. So
beautiful. Okay, Amber, I'm gonna take the next question.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Tracy, I see you. Carolyn, I see you. So say hello in the comments, okay? All right, so the next question is it okay to use a vibration platform on a carpet or hard floor? Absolutely, it's totally okay. Either or, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, I'm gonna jump to number 6, and then I'm gonna get back to Amber. If my remote doesn't work, what should I do? Email us, support@lifeflowfitness.com. We'll gladly help you and assist you, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, and let me give it back to Amber. I think you're doing great. I just want to make sure we answer all the questions we have, and I have a feeling we're gonna have to come back and create separate lives for individual questions, because these are very good. I'm taking notes. If no one's taking notes, this is gold.
Yes, very cool, very cool. Okay, what is the setting for people with MS? My sister has got MS. My sister-in-law has MS. So I'm very familiar with working with this. It is an autoimmune disease. MS symptoms are different for everybody, but because it is an autoimmune disease, it is associated with inflammation, stress, and swelling. So if you are new to using the platforms, start with a low level of intensity. If you're on a RumbleX, start with a P1 setting, the preset 1 program, or start with a low level of speed of like 1 to 30. If you are on one of our other devices that has anywhere from, I think, like 6 to 9 preset programs, stay in that P1 to P3 range when you're getting started for 10 minutes. If you don't feel any itching sensations, and if you don't feel any discomfort, then you can try a little bit for more later in the evening. I wouldn't automatically start another program. So if you do a 10-minute program, like on a P1 setting, on any one of our devices, and you don't feel anything different other than you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and your legs feel a little bit lighter, or you're just feeling good, wait until the rest of your day goes by, and in the evening hours before you go to bed, try another one, because especially I know with MS you can deal with the numbness, tingling, neuropathy, but if you have restless leg syndrome, it's the same thing. I have a lot of clients who love our devices because with restless leg syndrome, if they get on it like an hour before they go to bed, they don't suffer restless leg syndrome any longer, and they can go off their medication for it. So if you're taking gabapentin for restless leg syndrome, or for whatever situation you're dealing with, try to do a platform program right before you go to bed, because it will make a huge difference in the circulation of your legs, but also it calms the nervous system down. And restless legs is just that sensation that you can't ever get comfortable. You almost have to get up and walk around in the middle of the night in order to get your legs to let go. The other thing with MS and with restless leg syndrome are the Thrive boots. So if you don't want to get on a device and you want to sit up and you want to watch TV or read a book, but you're just not in the mood to feel it all over, the Thrive boots are game on for that. Okay. The next question, what is the setting to help reduce back pain? This is a tough question to answer because there are so many different directions we can go with this. So I'm going to keep it simple. Whatever position is causing your pain. So if standing on the device causes you pain, go to a sitting position. How your feet are aligned on your device. So in other words, I don't know if you can see this all or not, but if I'm on my device, if my feet are turned in, it changes how my back feels. If my feet are turned out, it changes how my back feels. If my toes are straight forward with my heels, but my knees are locked, that is not good on your back. If you are standing neutral and you feel good, but at some point, you're not feeling as good, then just start doing nice and easy squats where you're just following your hands down to your legs. Because again, there's a lot of tension that happens on the back side of our body. And so if you can work on loosening this up right before you're out and doing your thing, it changes the alignment of the rest of the body. The other thing I like to do when I'm on my device, I don't stand sideways on it, but I'm turning sideways so that you can see me. But I like to reach down and I like to roll upward and create as much of an arch in my back so that those muscles that are really, really deep can absorb a lot of that energy because they just want some kind of stimulus, some kind of release, okay? But the question is, what is causing your back pain? Because there's so many different causes of back pain, but sitting all day is the number one cause of low back pain because we've got a muscle right through here, the psoas muscle, and that muscle, when it gets tight, it automatically pulls on the pelvis, and that all of our back musculature attaches to the back side of the pelvis. So we have to make sure, so there's your psoas group right here in the middle, okay? Right here in the middle is the psoas group. So if those muscles get tight because of stress or because of tension in our neck and jaw, because the psoas tightens up immediately after the neck and jaw gets tight, low back pain will automatically kick in. So how to reduce back pain? It is such a long question. And I've done several videos on back pain. So go back and refer back to YouTube or the Life Pro page on Facebook.
Right.
There are several videos there in which I explain everything. If you're dealing with sciatica will either back pain will lead to sciatica or sciatica leads to back pain. It's not one, then the other. They go back and forth. If you have spinal stenosis or if you have a disc bulge or a disc herniation, make sure that you are starting on a very, very low setting because if you have any of that going on, you automatically have high levels of inflammation, and we have to get inflammation down before pain will cease. So that's a very loaded question, but that's just something to get you started.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to jump in again.
You got it.
Because I saw a very important question from Lisa. You are in the VIP group right now. Okay? So in the tag section, there is a tag section. I don't know if you use mobile or desktop, but you can see there's a how-to tag. It will come up all the videos related to how-to. So if you explore the tag section, you will find a lot of videos instead of scrolling to the end of the universe. Okay? Because it's going to be very difficult to find if you just scroll. So just make sure you use the tags.
I'm going to answer this next question real quick. My massage gun doesn't work. What should I do? And I'm going to answer that because this happened to me this week. And I just want to give kudos. I'm going to have to go back and see who the email was sent to. But I went to support@lifeprofitness.com, I believe is what the email address was. Or what is your email address, Joel, for sending questions about broken devices?
Support@lifeprofitness.com.
I'm good. All right. So anyhow, I have 2 massage guns that I have used. I use them professionally on a daily basis. they just got to the point where they were tired and they didn't want to turn back on a recharge. All of our devices have a lifetime warranty, okay? I also have used a competitor's device in years past, which only have a 2-year warranty, and I'm fighting with them right now to get my device replaced because we're talking $600 for a device. Joel and his team are amazing at customer service, okay? The young lady sent me back an email within 15 minutes on a late evening. It was like 12:30 in the morning 2 nights ago. And this young lady contacted me within 15 minutes and said, I'm so sorry that you are dealing with this with our device. Can you provide me a photo or a video so we can see the number on the bottom of your device so that we can make sure and send you exactly what you need? And so I did exactly that, sent her the information, responded back. Guys, within 48 hours, I had a brand new device on my front door. And they have not asked me to send the other device back. At this point, I haven't responded back to her, but she took very good care of me. And she didn't even know that I was Amber that works for LifePro. I didn't tell her that information in advance. So it wasn't special brownie tip treatments for me. It was just absolute superb customer service. And again, I have had issues before my relationship with working with LifePro with Joel. I used a lot of other competitors' devices and had a lot of issues with those. And this customer service is not the same across the board. That's one of the reasons why I love working for LifePro, because they fall in my values of customer service being high #1 priority. Because it's your time, it's your money, and if you don't have your device, and if you're in pain, stress goes up, which kind of defeats the purpose of our whole business. So contact customer service through email. If you don't want to take the time to email, call customer service. Joel, what is the customer service hotline?
732-456-6063. But the fastest, you will probably get a faster response by email.
Yes. Like I said, 15 minutes, just conversing back and forth. Within 48 hours, new devices on my front door. Super excited. We rock. I love it. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. What is stall force? Okay. When it comes to our massage guns, okay, when the massage gun is working and when you make contact with your skin, so I forgot. I turned the heater on this on, Joel. Totally forgot that. It's hot. It's like 140 degrees and I don't even have it running. I just decided to put it on my skin. So we'll get into this one here in a second. When you have your device on and you're using it on your body, if you're not floating, just letting the massage gun float, you're putting more pressure on the device, which puts more work onto the motor. So stall force is how much pressure, how much energy the massage gun can handle before it just stalls and stops working while the device is still on. Is that a fair statement, Joel?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you who are new to massage guns, I'm just going to tell you right now, don't worry about stall force, because the only individuals that really care about stall force are those who are in the weight room doing bodybuilding, or those who are in the medical profession like me, because it changes how you apply the device to very muscular bodies, because those bodies are so thick and hypertrophied that it takes a lot of energy for these things to keep up with those individuals. So, and the stall force changes between each device, between each manufacturer. So don't worry about stall force, because I can tell you, majority of you, if you're looking for pain relief or you're looking for stress relief and relaxation, stall force is not anything you need to worry about. Stall force is more going to be applicable to the sports medicine professional, not even massage therapist at this point, but sports medicine professionals who are working with professional athletes or bodybuilders that are at the gym, because they have to have so much more aggressive application, whereas most of you don't feel comfortable with that kind of application. So,
hi, let me see. How do I get myself back in?
Oh.
Okay, so I wanted to say is I just got off an interview with a New York Times reporter about this subject. And she asked me, is stall force important? And why is it important? So I actually said the same thing. So we're on point. Awesome, Amber.
And hey, we didn't rehearse that, guys. We're just telling you what we know. Okay, so there was another question that came up. What is the difference between the Fusion FX and the Fusion X? This right here is the Fusion X. This right here is the Fusion FX. They are both heated massage guns. Like this is like one of the first. Were you one of the first, Joel, that came up with a heated massage gun? Because I had not even heard of one when you actually contacted me over a year ago about this.
Yeah, we are the first and the only ones, I believe.
It's awesome. Okay, so if you look at the back of the device, this is your control panel where you can actually tap onto your buttons. On the Fusion X, we have only 2 buttons, 5 levels of intensity, no preset programs, but you still have the heat feature. Okay, we also have a slimline design. Okay, they both pretty comparable in weight. These are both quite a bit heavier than the other more simplified entry-level units that we have. But again, you have to have a housing in order to put the heater, because it really does heat to 140 degrees. So right now, this gun right here is actually heating, and so you can see the little sunshine that's showing that it's heating. When I turn on the unit, just one tap, okay, we've got 5 levels of intensity. Super quiet, okay, but that's all you got. So you don't have anything preset. So this one is not as fancy as this one, because with this one, you have all your preset programs. So you are going to push this play button, and then you've got 3 different modes that you can choose through. Unfortunately, because I'm not responsible, as you can see, my red light is on, which means the battery is almost drained dry because we use these a lot. So I don't have enough juice to turn it on for you. But nonetheless, we have the heat button, 5 levels of intensity, 3 preset programs. So it's going to give you a variety of change of intensity as you're using it. If you don't care about the preset programs and want the slimline design, and I think the Fusion X is right now cheaper, isn't it, Joel, from the FX? Yeah, okay. So if you want the cheaper alternative, that's this one, which is the Fusion X. The attachment and the case are pretty much the same. The attachments are the same, okay? So hopefully that answers the question about the difference between the Fusion X and the Fusion FX. One has preset programs, the other one does not, but they both heat high level to 140 degrees-ish, and you can turn the heat off if you don't want to use the heat, or you can use the heat with. Okay, I have carpal tunnel syndrome. Can I still use this? Absolutely, okay? I've got the Dynamini right here, and I like the Dynamini for this demo because how little it is, number 1, it's cheap, number 2, and number 3, it's got this really soft thumb tip, or what I call the missile tip, okay? And you can carry it pretty much, you can carry it in your handbag, okay? So when you turn it on, carpal tunnel syndrome is overuse of these muscles compressing on the nerves here in the middle of the wrist. We also have a bunch of carpal bones here in our wrist. So we have nerves, vessels, tendons, bones, and we have to move with all that, right? So carpal tunnel is not a problem in the hand. It's actually a problem that happens up here because these muscles are not strong enough to keep up with the endurance of your day, whether it's typing, mousing, rotational. So yes, you can use this on your hand in these fine little areas where your tendons all make contact with the bone. A tendon attaches muscle to a bone. A ligament attaches bone to bone, okay? So you can do that 4 different levels of intensity with this one. But where you really need to focus in is up here. And we have a lot of little intricate little muscles up here in our forearm. And these are the little guys that really would like to have a little extra love from you. So I'm not pushing, I'm just kind of, and if you open your hand, it changes the muscle tone than if you have your hand closed. So open the hand in order to, ooh, you can see the goosebumps on my arm. This feels really good. I haven't done this in a while. But we're gonna work it up. So same thing with tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. If you have tendonitis here on the elbow or tendonitis here on the inside of the elbow, the one important thing to remember, we don't ever want to do this through the nerve space, okay? And what I mean by that is on your elbow, we have a nerve that sits right in here. Like if you bump your elbow on the table and it really hurts like crazy and you get some numbness tingling at your funny bone, that nerve runs right there and it's really easy to nick. We also have another nerve that runs right through here and it's easy to nick. So between those two, stay out of those two little hot spots, and they're very, very sensitive if you try and touch them. Work around it, because the areas around it is what is causing the problem. And then once you work all of that out, then work on strengthening of your hands. I've got a great program with using a bucket of rice and playing with rice, or you can play with sand, but just working your hands a little different than this right here. But we have to strengthen these muscles up here. And we have to vibrate, because remember, when we overuse certain things, this all gets adhesed together like glue. And so we have to break that apart carefully. So that's what these massage guns are great for. For carpal tunnel syndrome, another thing that you can do is you can use your platform. You either put it up on a table and you can, let me turn this off here. You can either place your hands and your forearms on the table using your platform on a low setting, or you get on your hands and knees and put your hands on it like such. And then the vibration is going to move your shoulders and your neck at the same time, because the nerve that innervates the hand actually originates up in here. So if you're carrying extra tension, it automatically will increase your carpal tunnel syndrome symptoms through inflammation. So that's the short story version of that. Again, there's videos that I've done on how you can use our platform for shoulder, elbow, and upper body strengthening without having to stand on it. So if you need help with that, go back and reflect back on those videos.
Okay. We are going to take a pause from that paper.
Yes, sir.
Because we're almost running out of time.
Uh-huh.
So I would rather us do the live questions. Yes, Rebecca, we are the best. I agree. And so like this, so those who are watching patiently to get their questions answered.
Well,
so let me...
the hand device, and I want to answer that question because I saw that come up the other day.
Oh, okay.
Let me go grab my hand device. You keep talking.
Okay, so let me just scroll up. And for those who are watching and didn't say hello, you need to write a comment, press love, like, whatever. But I need to know that you're there, okay? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the questions on my phone. Yes, Rose, I see. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So
if you look inside the tunnel, you can see a little lump, a little mound. It's like taking a little ball, and cutting it in half, and then they just stuck that half of the ball in there. When you stick your hand in your device, okay, you want that little ball to sit positioned right here in the palm of your hand, okay? So when you're sitting, it's almost like having a mouse. If you think about using a mouse with your computer, it's almost like a mouse is built inside of the hand massager. So when you slide your hand in, you want that palm to be integrated with that ball. And when that happens, your fingertips should be sticking out towards the end a little bit. And I've got short hands, but you want to also make sure that you are spreading your fingers apart. Because if you stick your hand in like this, okay, if you stick your hand in like this and you turn the device on, here's the thing, you're already compressing and creating tension here by keeping your hand closed. Open that hand up, because when you open that hand up, you actually integrate that treatment up in here into the forearm. Even though you're not having the forearm in the device, all the muscles for the forearm attach here into the hand, into these tendons. So that's what your tendons are. So if you stick your hand in there where the device and the ball sits right in the palm, you spread your fingers apart as wide as you can, you're actually going to feel relief all the way up here in your forearm, because the tendons attach these muscles into the hand so that you can move. So hand goes in, okay? You might have your fingertips here through the outside, but that little, what feels like a little ball, goes right in the middle of your palm, and then you just want to spread your fingers. And then when the device turns on and it starts inflating the chamber with some pressure, you'll actually feel another little gap that fills in right here in between your thumb and your index finger. So, but if you're here, if you stick your hand in like such with your hand tight and flat, it can't fill in that airspace right here. And most people have a lot of pain in their hands because of this area right here. We call this a thenar eminence. This part right here gets so tight because we carry a lot of tension there naturally. Whether we use it or not, stress, we carry tension right there. So if you open your hand up when you slide it in, ball here, enjoy the treatment, but make sure that your hand is open and expanded so that the air chamber can actually work in between your fingers. So it's a good thing. Okay, what are some other questions, Joel?
Lisa Broughton, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name, Rumblex, and I need to know what is the best setup for lymph drainage and inflammation.
Okay, you're gonna go to manual mode setting, and just for starters, you're gonna make sure when you turn on, which Rumblex do you have, Lisa? Because each one of our Rumblexes has a different manual mode button.
Right. So let's assume she just has the basic Rumblex because she just mentioned Rumblex.
Yeah, if you have the basic Rumblex 4D, I'm trying to think off the top of my head because I don't have that button in front of me. You're going to push what is referred to as the manual mode button, and you're going to tap it as many times as you can switch through the programming. Start with vibration first, which looks like a big round circle, okay? And if you start it on, so you have the Pro. Okay, so the Pro, you're gonna push the button that looks like a wrench. It doesn't look like the gear. It looks like a little wrench inside of a circle. You're gonna tap that to whatever level is most comfortable for you, or meaning if you like the vibration with the motion that goes side to side, that's great. I have a lot of clients that love all three forms of the vibration together. So you can light up all of those across the board at the same time. But when you hit start, make sure you keep your body in the green zone. So the lights on the side will light up and the bar across the front will light up. And you want to keep your speed or your intensity at a level of green. So it's at the very, very low end. And if you get into that middle zone, you're starting to get into more aggressive vibration. And for lymphedema and for inflammation, we have to calm things down first in order to lower the inflammation so that there's somewhere for the muscles to pump the lymph towards the lymphatic system. So start with less, and you have to do that through the manual mode. If the manual mode is not exciting enough for you, choose the P1 or the P3 setting, but the P2 setting, in my opinion, is more aggressive than P1, P3. Worst case scenario, if you push a P button, whichever P button you want, a preset button, go from a seated position, because if you go from a seated position, you're really zoning in the lower legs versus when you stand, that energy is transferring through your entire body. If you're from a seated position and you're just working on lymphedema in the lower legs and inflammation like peripheral edema, then your legs get all of the energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So Eva is asking that she has lymphedema in her arm. So I would assume that it would apply the same thing for the arms, right?
Yep. So the other thing that you can do with the arms, for lymphedema on the arms, you can either go into this position right here on your hands and knees, or like I mentioned before, just set your platform up on your countertop, because it's not going to hurt your countertop. Your countertop is not going to vibrate off the cabinets. Okay. So set your platform up higher where you're comfortable and just lay your arms on top of it and let it do its thing.
Awesome. Beautiful. Next, Eunice. I'd like to get a rundown of the highlight of the hand massages, decide what is best for my husband's back and knee and foot pain. So I'm assuming she means by hand massagers for massage guns.
Okay. The hand massager is really only good if you have tired hands or you need improved circulation in the hands, or you just want to relax. A lot of people just like them because it's very calming and relaxing. It's like going in for a manicure without the nail polish. With the massage guns, it's depending on what your husband's situation is, from what kind of pain he's suffering from, you can go with one of our entry-level guns, which is the DynaLife. And I suggest that one because it has this tip that looks more like a spring and it's much softer. So the DynaLife or the Sonic Plus has that. The DynaSphere is more rotating, but it has a greater amount of intensity, in my opinion. So when it comes to especially absorption of energy, I like the DynaLife because it has this rubber on the handle. And so you're not absorbing additional vibration through your palm when you're using it on yourself. Some people actually benefit from that. But if you're already flared up in your hands, you don't want to add anything unnecessary to your hands other than the stimulus from the tip. So the DynaLife, the DynaSphere, the Sonic Plus, even the DynaMini is really good because he can work on himself. But if you're needing something for the back, you want to make sure that you get something that has a greater variation, in my opinion, of speeds, because the back can be very sensitive. And so some people respond really well to low intensity, and some people really need a lot more intensity.
Question. I don't know the name.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come up on my screen, but the question was about the hand massager for someone with significant arthritis malformation in their hands. Will it help relieve pain?
It will, yes. And it's heated. So that's the other thing with our hand massager is it has this heated feature on it. So if we turn the heat on, it also has vibration as well as the massage feature. If you don't like the vibration, you can turn the vibration feature off. It has 5 different intensities that are preset, and then it has 5 different modes. So 5 programs, 5 levels of intensity. It's got the heat, 2 different levels of vibration. If you just want to feel the vibration and the heat, you can do that. If you don't want the heat or the vibration and you just want the massage, then you can just get the massage. And like I said, there's 5 different settings, and it works very, very fast. So very, very good for generating circulation into the hands to create mobility.
Kathy, why do my legs itch like crazy in the oscillation mode on the Rumble-X Plus? So that we addressed regarding the itchiness. However, to give you a quick answer is because the oscillation is stronger.
Yeah, yes. Okay, but not the vibration pulse mode. Okay, so yes. So remember, vibration creates a mild earthquake to the system that carries a lot of toxicity. So when we have a higher level of intensity, if you're on the Rumble-X and you have all 3 forms of vibration going at a high level of speed, you're getting major, major earthquake. Whereas when you have it on low level, you're getting a major windstorm with a little bit of vibration, if that makes sense. We're changing the perfect storm. So high level rattles everything loose, mobilizes toxicity in the system. Some people, that's a great thing. Other people can send them over the edge. So start less is better if you're new to it. And if you itch, if you can tolerate the itching, let the body itch, because you're breaking that stuff through and you're getting toxicity released through your system. If you find that you're itching throughout the whole day and it's driving you crazy, you can give yourself a very mild dose of Benadryl, and that will cease the itching a little bit. But I have found a very naturalistic approach. When I'm doing cupping on my clients, I do Eastern version of cupping. They automatically itch when I pull all the cups off, because we're releasing toxicity and we're separating and we're opening up all those channels. If I put peppermint, eucalyptus, or lemongrass oil on those spots, itching immediately goes away. So if you have an itching problem and you don't want to take anything chemically through your mouth, then you can take peppermint oil, or even lavender sometimes will ease the itching, okay?
I don't even know the name, but what machine is good for an elderly lady who wears compression socks and has had 2 knee replacements?
Okay, it depends on, okay, so here's the thing. Anybody, I have like high performance athletes that wear compression socks. It's not necessarily that they wear them for circulation, they wear them because of recovery. So compression socks are not dependent on somebody who is got circulatory problems or inflammation problems. It is a performance enhancer. And for two knee replacements, the question I need to know from you is, are we having pain, or are we just afraid to use one of the devices because we've got titanium in our knees? So with vibration on the platform, whether you are seated or whether you are standing, we're not going to interrupt those knee replacements unless you are within the first 6 to 12 weeks post-surgical. We don't want to meddle with
so we do, so instead of
body.
interrupting, but we do 6 months just to be safe.
Got it. The other thing that you can do is you can watch a video that I did a year ago this week with my mom. She was getting ready to go in for total knee replacements, and she was in a tremendous amount of pain. And we put her on the turbo, and she did really, really good with the turbo. And my mom is in her late 60s. And then I'm going to be out there next week. So we're going to do another video a year out so that you can see the after effect post total knee replacement. But I had my mom doing hers, 6 to 8 weeks after, just to create circulation into the lower legs. But I didn't have her doing anything from a standing position. Everything was done from a seated position until she's developed her balance back.
Okay, we have Shirley. I love my Verdor leg exerciser first, or if I have a friend, I would like to recommend it too, if you think it would be okay for her. She has a pacemaker. There shouldn't be any issue whatsoever, Shirley.
Be okay.
Okay, is it okay, Veronica?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay to vibrate when you are sick?
Good question. You don't want to vibrate much at all when you are ill, because if you have an acute, it depends on how you define sick. If you have a bacterial infection, a viral infection that's acute, running a fever, you don't want to vibrate in that situation because we don't want to mobilize that infection. If you have recently been diagnosed with cancer, we need to make sure you check with your physician to make sure that it is okay for you to receive any form of vibration, whether through a massage gun, here's the thing, if they tell you it is safe to get a massage, it is okay to get on vibration because massage can mobilize cancer cells. So anytime I'm working professionally, I always make sure that individual has clearance from their physician to have a massage, and all of our devices are providing a massage through vibration. So you're safe to do that, but you never work on somebody who is sick when they're acute. So if you have pneumonia, if you have COVID, if you're acute, if you're running a fever, or if you're in that first 72 hours of being ill, lay off of the device because we don't want to mobilize that infection until you have started a form of treatment.
Awesome. So here's a question from Sherry and a few others. Will this be available on YouTube? Absolutely. And we are going to work on timestamps. So should you want to scroll to a specific question, you don't have to watch the entire video. We'll have it in the comments, what time to scroll the time to that specific question that you want to learn more about. But before we continue, first I want to remind everyone that tomorrow, let me get myself on the screen. Tomorrow is a Black Friday sale. So make sure you keep an eye on it. We're starting it early to help you get your deliveries sooner, because I'm telling you, it's going to be chaos. If you don't believe me, no problem. But that's why we're starting it a week earlier. And Amber, give me 1 second. It's 12 o'clock. Do you still have time, or do you need to jump off? Or should we just do another run?
I've got about 15 more minutes. I've got a client that starts in about 30 minutes, so I should be okay to go for another 15 minutes.
Okay, great.
A question for you, Joel, that come up: how many vibrations per second do the platforms deliver? I'm assuming that is ever changing, and that's something that Debbie has been, very helpful in telling us. Is that correct? Because the vibrations and the G-force generated through each and every platform is different.
That is correct. We do have a chart. So if you email us, we'll give you a chart that breaks it down. The reason we don't put it up there because it's really not so important for most people, but if you really feel that you need the technical information, just email us.
Yeah. So somebody posted compression socks are for circulation, over 80, thinking the new machine that came out would be good. So the new machine is really good for individuals who have a hard time initiating movement. So if she can continue to wear her stockings, her compression socks, but if she's having trouble because of fatigue or because of pain or just not being strong enough to generate movement and moving the legs, that's what the leg massager does, is it moves the legs for you so that you don't have to initiate. So if she's having trouble being mobile, that's an option. The other thing that actually be a great idea for her, once she is in physical therapy if she's already done with the knee replacements, if she's already done the bike and physical therapy, the flex cycle is a great option if she is in a seated position to generate circulation into her legs while keeping the joints moving, because the flex cycle will not cause problems with total knee replacements. In fact, that's what we encourage that for those individuals.
Okay, so by the way, 2 things. We are literally maybe 10 left for flex cycles. It's going to take another few weeks for the rest. So if you really want it, then you should get it now. But literally like 10. And Amber, I'm going to give you the questions because I'm doing it from the earliest to the latest.
Sure.
So like this, we don't skip any questions. So Veronica, is the gun or vibration machine best for fascia manipulation?
Okay. In my professional opinion, the platform is the best option for manipulating fascia. And I say that because when you're standing on that platform, it is affecting your entire body simultaneously at the same time. When you're using the massage gun, you're localizing how you are wanting to manipulate your fascia. So if you are a therapist, or if you are a coach, or you're using it to get somebody warmed up for competition and you can't take a platform with you, or you're doing it at the end of your day, or you're in an office setting and you can't have a platform in your office, yes, the gun is great for manipulating fascia if you know where you're wanting to create more mobilization, less tension. But when it comes to total body, everything happening together with less effort, the platforms are the way to go. We have the 2D platform, the 3D platforms, the 4D platforms, and the linear vibration platforms, which is our Vivid series. The Vivid and the Vivid Pro, if you're wanting to ignite the entire body at the exact same time without any activation on your end, the Vivid and the Vivid Pro will cause every muscle in your body simultaneously to activate at the same time, no matter where your foot is in contact with on the platform. All of our other platforms are different. So the Vivid series is what we refer to as linear vibration. So the vibration is multiple up and down, whereas every other platform, whether it's 2D, 3D, 4D, are more of an oscillating. So we get vibration generating through the platform. We get the teeter, I like to call it the teeter-tottering effect. And then some of our devices have more of a shifting effect side to side. And so our bodies respond to that stimulus, whereas the other unit, it actually doesn't move. It just generates a huge surge of linear vibration. So if you're wanting fascial manipulation where you feel everything changing, the platforms are the way to go.
Okay, we have Thea Brits. I received the Rumblex Plus this week. Started very slow on level 1 for 5 minutes, just once. And the other 2 times, only vibration, most likely pulsation. Have inflammation in knee is swollen. Can I continue to use the machine?
Yes.
Leg with inflammation is very swollen today.
Okay, yes, you can. We have to change your body positioning. So if you are standing on it, I need to know if you are standing on it or if you're sitting in a chair with your legs elevated or if you're actually sitting on the platform. Because basically, and the other question is, if you are standing, are your knees unlocked? Because if your knees are locked, your knee is absorbing all of that energy, and that's not what we want for you. So if you are standing on the platform, we have to make sure that your knees are slightly bent. You don't have to be in a squat. You just have to have your knees slightly bent. If you are in a chair, then you can hold up here. If you are in a chair, you can sit in a chair, which unloads the knees completely, but your feet and your legs can still absorb the energy, and your hips are still going to absorb the energy, but you're not loading. So it changes the stimulus and how the muscles respond. And then last but not least, let me tilt my screen down so you all can see this. Last but not least is if you do have pain with sitting or standing, you can still sit on the floor and elevate your legs like such, okay? Even if you have to put a pillow up there so that you're more comfortable, but just vibrating that will facilitate the lymphedema in your lower legs and will help to circulate that inflammation out of there without without overstimulating the actual knee joint.
Absolutely. So Dean, I'm going to jump ahead.
Yep.
Because he's asked several times the question. Dean is asking, any experience helping migraines with massage guns?
Yes, but you have to figure out what's causing the migraine. Is it stress?
Right.
Is it hormones? Because a lot of migraines come on because of hormone fluctuation, especially in females. But a lot of migraines are also tension related. So if you are carrying a lot of tension in your neck, make sure and aim the massage gun into the shoulder and the chest region, because especially right here in the pec minor region, or right here around the armpit. You don't want to go inside the armpit, but if we are working basically right in here, in this range right here, this area right here, when it gets really tight, it automatically, when it shortens, it pulls us forward, which places more pressure on our neck muscles. And all of that connective tissue, we've got 7 different layers of fascial connective tissue that runs over the top of our cranium. And so if you're getting tension somewhere else below your cranium, if you use a massage gun to ease off that tension, it will help in alleviating the migraine.
By the way, I can't help but say that you have nice toned arms. You showed off a second there. Kathy is asking.
It's doing those planks and doing the mini band loop workouts with the vibration platforms.
So I'm going to jump ahead. Julia, thank you very much for helping Brian. Yes, the speakers do. If you don't hear the speakers, then there's something wrong. It makes sure all the volume is turned up because it really rocks to have. But Kathy, would platform be beneficial for trauma patients who have been bedridden for months to assist with alternative walking? If so, would that also help with drop foot issues?
It can. So this is where it gets tricky. Dr. Wall is a really good example of this scenario with MS. She was in a wheelchair for a long time and then started using the platform, and the platform changed for how her body received information from her nerves and through her brain, and it brought her out of her electric wheelchair. Every person is different, so it's not a one fix for everybody kind of thought. I would not leave that person independent in doing this on their own. I would make sure that somebody experienced is there to supervise them. But yes, it will start regenerating those muscles to activate. My situation, which is what led me to Joel, was I had a total hysterectomy 2 years ago next week. And I had a lot of muscles. I was in bed for a month. My muscles shut down and I could not get any of my muscles in my pelvis or in my abdomen wall to start working again. And so that's when I called him and got the platform. And within a few weeks, I was up and going again. So yes, it can work, but we have to have an understanding of what has caused that trauma, what are any complications that we're dealing with, whether it's blood clots, whether it's epileptic behavior. If you have epileptic behavior, you have to be very, very careful. So make sure that you're working with a medical professional and when you're trying to work those out, but it will help with how the body receives information. It will help with proprioception, which is where you're at in space. And it will help in strengthening the muscles just by being in contact with that vibration. That's how all this technology started in the 1960s, was keeping muscle tone and weight on astronauts in space through vibration. It's the same technology.
So Shirley is asking about the medications she's taking. So my answer is going to be yes, please speak to your doctor.
Yes, you can't immediately stop taking gabapentin. You have to wean off of gabapentin or your family will really not like you. So make sure, I've been on the gabapentin. Make sure if you have the opportunity to get off of it, do talk with your doctor as soon as possible if your restless leg syndrome is fading, because gabapentin, there are some side effects that have been proven that can lead to early onset of dementia. So that's just one of the side effects that has been reported. So make sure if you're wanting to get off of it, definitely talk with your doctor, because you have to slowly taper off of it. You can't just stop taking it.
Awesome. Dina, what equipment would you suggest for someone? This is the final question, by the way, and we'll have to circle back because we have to bounce. What equipment would you suggest for someone like my dad who has dementia and also has chronic pain? his balance isn't all that well, something like the Rumblex would not be good for him. So I think it's an easy answer.
I would say as far as the equipment goes, for somebody who has dementia, they're already very confused with what's going on around them to begin with. And for chronic pain, one option, everybody, again, is it's a very personal thing. What you can do with him is you can elevate his feet from a seated position and using like one of the Waver or the turbos. I know a lot of the aging athletes or the senior citizen population are scared to death of the Rumblex because it's just a bigger platform. It has more vibration options to it. Simplicity is best for individuals who are dealing with a lot of complexity in their life, a lot of stress in their life. So the Waver, the Turbo, the Hovert, the Rhythm.
I was going to recommend the Rhythm because it has handles.
But the vibration of the Rhythm is two-dimensional and it's a totally different sensation. And because he has dementia, it might be too much stimulation for him. It's not as calm. The Rhythm has really good aggressive vibration, but it's a totally different sensation than some of the other units. So if you are needing help with him with balance, make sure that you put whatever platform you buy, put it in front of the countertop in the kitchen or someplace where he can lean and making contact with the table so his awareness of space is modified and easier for him to interpret, or just keep him in a seated position. And the nice thing about the other platforms, the Rhythm is good because it has the handrails, but it's hard to move around. It does have wheels, but it's hard to move around. So if you have one of the others that is flat, you can take it to him if he's sitting in a recliner and just have him elevate his legs, and that will automatically help with the sensory in his feet.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is it. So everyone, please say thank you to Amber in the comments.
Thank you.
Please thank her because I know she is so busy and we're really lucky to have her on. I just want to let you know. So please show your appreciation. Everything else, all further questions you can leave in the comments. We'll collect them for the next call. We did not expect this to take as long as it did. We had such wonderful, great questions.
But super grateful. And I love educating and sharing what I know. So I will always make time for these kind of sessions. So thank you to Joel for inviting me to join your consumers and to join this wonderful team. But yes, reach out to us because we're here to help you. And we want to give you every possibility to be the best version of yourself that you can be without having to hire a professional to do it. That is what is wrong with our medical system right now that's so broken, why you're not getting help. If you have to pay nickel and dime for everything through insurance, and if we have so many great resources that are applicable to so many people with few contraindications or complications to arise. So take advantage because the spectrum of all the tools that LifePro makes are for the high performance professional athlete to the individual who is at home in bed and not able to do anything. The spectrum is huge. So you have to get creative and just remember you have to take control of your healthcare, not leaving it to your doctors or to your other medical professionals because they're responsible for so many other people on only so little time. So I like to say quarterback your own health because that's the reason why I'm able to walk today is because I took control of my own health. So again, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll definitely look forward for another Q&A in the future. But stay tuned next week with us too. There's gonna be a lot of lives through all of this.
Yes.
I'll be
next week
in Arizona next week. So I'll be in Tempe, Arizona next week. So you get to see my mom, you get to see my stepdad who's just fresh out of a total shoulder reconstruction. And so you'll get to see how I use the devices with them, as well as my little girl who's 10, she uses the devices. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing all of you next week.
By the way, speaking of next week, I'm going to get myself in the center just in case Instagram can't see me. So next week, we will most likely be streaming on Amazon. Amazon has a live streaming feature. So just letting you know, we'll probably post in the group a link to go to Amazon to watch the lives. Okay? Just letting you know. And thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. And we're really grateful for the opportunity that we can serve you. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.